is also a great one because the people who are really upset about this are the libs, right? Liberals right now are just like, oh, they're coming after our sacred Disney. We must defend them. We must defend this multi-billion-dollar company at all costs, because that's the thing they love to do. They love to defend huge corporations, even though it's like, well, you're just you're doing it for free. Yeah, why not? So as long as the liberals are going to be big mad and the conservatives are actually like, you know what, we're going to try and actually attack this company. Again, as a leftist, I could not be in a better position. What is the autonomy? How much autonomy did they have, though? Like, I saw people online being like, well, they basically can control their own sewage systems and networks and, you know, other things like that, which will become very complicated if they don't have complete oversight over them.
Essentially, control its own zoning, has its own police and fire departments.
They have their own, they have Disney police? Disney firemen? Jeez, do they have to be? Are they considered like cast members? Do they dress in costumes? Is it a whole bunch of goofies that come out with batons and stuff? Do they have their own military? How far does this go? I'm so curious. Like, you better get on the ground or you're gonna get some pepper spray. Oh, and if you didn't see this and you didn't know it already, Disney apparently is communist. That's right. And I mean what I said, yes, one of the largest multinational corporations in the world has cannibalized most existing competition and continues to stretch copyright laws so Mickey never enters the public domain. They're the commies. Yeah, so, all right, here we go. It's one of those, like, everything I don't like is commie. They came for the cringe. Hey, what up, Jeff? Everyone go to Jeff_Waldorf. Give him a follow. But yeah, I have no idea what the fuck is going on here. Just utterly bizarre and strange and cool. But I guess that moves on to our Disney segment. Let's start with that. Okay, I gotta tell you a story. It's a fantastic story. It's one of whimsy and magic. But hold on, let me find some copyright clear music for this experience. All right, I want to tell everyone a fantastic tale, a story, if you will, about a company called Disney and some things they did. You see, Disney originally backed a whole bunch of politicians on a bill, the now infamous Don't Say Gay bill, which of course is going to ban, or did ban, I should say, it's already happened, banned the ability to discuss things like sexuality or gender with students at schools. In fact, you cannot even mention such things. Disney went ahead and funded a bunch of politicians that went to pass that law, and then a bunch of people obviously got mad at Disney because Disney, what the fuck are you doing? And so Disney responded and they said, hey, don't worry, we are on your side, LGBTQ plus. Yes, we even respect the plus now. And we're going to make a whole bunch of characters in our universe, our canon, if you will. And there'll be representation. We'll have a gay character. We'll have a lesbian. We'll even have a trans person, maybe, you know, TBD. But anyways, we're going to have all this representation. It's going to be magical and wonderful and all the things you've come to love about Disney. And so we're not bad anymore. And you love us again. And please give us money, is kind of what they did. And then, hark, the Republicans caught wind of this, and the culture war began. Suddenly, they had a new enemy. All the very people they had been giving money to and funding suddenly hate them. And now, there's a war where all the Republicans and the conservatives will crush this evil communist corporation to the ground and destroy them. And so we find ourselves today where Ron DeSantis himself is trying to stick his dick directly into Mickey Mouse. And this is the part of the tale that I'm going to discuss now. Disney's self-government in peril after Florida houseboat. Did any of you know that Disney is self-governing? I didn't. I thought this was a prop. I didn't know there was an actual castle and a king and a queen and a lord and stuff. The Florida House of Representatives on Thursday gave final passage to a bill that will dissolve Walt Disney World's private government, handing Republican Governor Ron DeSantis a victory in his feud with the entertainment giant over its opposition to a measure that critics have dubbed the Don't Say Gay law. The move could have huge tax implications for Disney, whose series of theme parks have transformed Orlando into one of the world's most popular tourist destinations and serves to further sour the relationship between Republican-led government and a major political player in the state. For DeSantis, the attack on Disney is the latest salvo in a culture war waged over policies involving race, gender, and the coronavirus, battles that have made him one of the most popular GOP politicians in the country and a likely 2024 presidential candidate. I'm actually way more afraid of that than I am of Trump, to be honest. I think DeSantis would be even more effective than Trump would be. The dispute with Disney began with the company's criticism of a law barring instruction on sexual orientation and gender identity in kindergarten through third grade, as well as instructions that is not age-appropriate or developmentally appropriate. By the way, I know the thing I usually say is that gender identity that has nothing to do with sex. Why is that appropriate to be banned alongside everything else? And then people will be like, well, fine, but I don't want to teach sexuality to children anyway. Do you know there's a difference between sexuality and teaching sex? Do you know those are two separate things? Like saying that there's such a thing as two daddies or two mummies, or the fact that I might like someone of the same gender. That's different than being like, here's how you perform doggy style. Do you understand that? There's two very different topics. Either way. In March, Disney said it would suspend political donations in the state and added that it would in turn support organizations working to oppose the new law. DeSantis and his fellow Republicans then lashed out at Disney and have defended the law as reasonable. Disney and other woke corporations won't get away peddling their unchecked pressure campaigns any longer, DeSantis wrote in a fundraising pitch Wednesday. If we want to keep the Democratic machine and their corporate lapdogs accountable, we have to stand together now. Again, Disney, the company that had been donating to Republicans in the state. But anyways, the bill passed by the legislature on Thursday and would eliminate the Reedy Creek Improvement District, as the Disney government is known, as well as a handful of other similar districts by June 2023. The measure does not allow for the districts to be reestablished, leaving an avenue to renegotiate in its future. It now moves to the DeSantis office to be signed into law, which means it will be. Democrats have criticized the proposal as a clear retaliation against the company and have warned that local homeowners could get hit with big tax bills if they absorb bond debts from Disney. Although such details are far from clear. It really is. It's actually just kind of strange and absurd. I didn't even know they had this much power, Disney. But anyways, hey, this is a grand old situation of let them fight. Have at it, you Republicans. Go battle this massive corporation in every way. Strike down their ability to keep extending copyright law. Do it. I dare you. I double dare you. Go as hard as you can. Battle Disney. Stop their ability to be this mega corporation that consumes every other asset until they own all of media in the world. That would be wonderful. Why don't you break up the company a bit? I don't know. You could go even further. They're commies, right? Destroy them. Why don't you show them the ultimate communism and nationalize Disney? Go ahead, DeSantis. I dare you. Go all in. Disney is one of Florida's biggest private employers, last year saying that it had more than 60,000 workers in the state. It is not immediately clear how the company or local governments around its properties would be affected if the district was dissolved. The creation of the Reedy Creek Improvement District and the control it gave Disney over 27,000 acres in Florida was a crucial element in the company's plans to build near Orlando in the 1960s. Company officials said they needed the autonomy to plan a futuristic city along with a theme park. I mean, we need the autonomy because we're going to make a theme park. So please? Yeah. Oh, if it's for a theme park, yes, you can have complete autonomy in this case. The city never materialized, however. Instead, it morphed into the Epcot theme park. Oh, that's the end of the article, eh? Let's learn.
This morning, Republican Governor Ron DeSantis escalating his fight against the house that Mickey built, pressuring state lawmakers to repeal Disney World's unique self-governing authority, the little-known Reedy Creek Improvement District that dates back to the late 60s.
They will be considering the congressional map, but they also will be considering termination of all special districts that were enacted in Florida prior to 1968, and that includes the Reedy Creek Improvement District.
How unprecedented is it for a governor to take on Disney in Florida?
It's highly unusual to see an out-and-out fight between one of the most powerful and important companies in the state.
Political insiders say,
I don't know, as a leftist, I think we're in the best possible position here. Because first off, we were on the right side of history. We were right to be mad at Disney for funding a whole bunch of politicians who passed this draconian bill. And then afterwards, if them saying, hey, we'll respond to this by not doing anything really material, but we're going to have a whole bunch more representation. Well, I mean, it's not a bad thing if trans kids grow up and there happens to be a trans princess, for example. I don't think that's a bad thing. So if Disney's going to do that and suddenly become much more LGBTQ plus friendly, cool, also good. And then if this massive multinational corporation that is very, very bad in a lot of ways is suddenly going to be attacked and taken on by Republicans as their new enemy, as we just sit back and watch the fireworks, I don't know. I'm just watching the show, you know, is kind of where I stand here. I would like to see a t-shirt that says Mickey standing victorious over DeSantis, animate as you will. I think we're in a wonderful let them fight position. And olive branch Republicans, I'm not standing in your way. Today I made fun of Disney, and I made fun of the fact that, like, you know, well, sorry, I didn't make fun of Disney. I made fun of the politician who thinks that this means that Disney is communist because everything I don't like is communism. And people in the replies who are right-wing says, you know, reading what I said here about multinational corporations, copyright law, all this kind of stuff, they're like, so it's a good thing then if we're attacking them. And I was like, have at it. Have at it, conservatives. You know, best of luck, inshallah. That's all I can say.
The battle is really over Florida's new parental rights in education law. which opponents, including some vocal Disney employees, call the Don't Say Gay law. Disney's CEO Bob Chapek, initially non-committal, saying after the governor signed the bill into law, "Our goal as a company is for this law to be repealed by the legislature or struck down in the courts."
This state is governed by the interests of the people of the state of Florida. It is not based on the demands of California corporate executives.
Alex Jones calls this situation a 360-degree win. Yes, but if Disney made a trans princess, she'd get 6 seconds of screen time so they could cut her out if they needed to. Also true, especially for foreign markets, right? The left will even roll out the red carpet to show the way to Disney. Yes, absolutely. Have at it, you know? That's all I'll say. Enjoy.
Disney's special self-governance, which covers 40 square...
The only place I'm going to interject is this entire, right-wing, I'm going to label everything I don't like as being grooming, because I don't know what grooming means, and apparently it really gets people mad, so let's keep doing it, because people are getting big mad when I say this word and associate it with people who are gay or trans. I will always push back against that, because that's super fucked up, and that needs to end and stop and be called out for what it is. So as long as there are people protesting in front of Disney with signs that say, like, Disney groomers and things like that, I'm going to keep calling that out. But if from a legal or from a political standpoint, a whole bunch of Republicans are now going to choose Disney as their big target, and they happen to be this really fucking evil multinational corporation, again, have at it.
Miles allows the company to provide many of its own services, like fire departments, road construction, and building and
everything is grooming socialism and communism, and no, they can't define any of those words. It's true. It's one of the three or combinations therein, and you can't forget postmodern neo-Marxism. That's a fun one that just rolls off the tongue.
zoning.
Today, I want to share with you some of our ideas for Disney World.
Without Reedy Creek, historians believe it's unlikely Uncle Walt would have realized his dream in Florida.
It's clearly political. The governor and Republicans in the legislature, at least many of them, seem to be trying to punish Disney.
Disney World is twice the size of Manhattan, or for another reference, about the size of San Francisco. It straddles two counties, Osceola and Orange County. We reached out to the managers of those counties to ask them whether they could take on the responsibilities if the state decides to eliminate the Reedy Creek Improvement District. And the managers in those counties said right now it's hypothetical, so really no comment. Craig?
All right. Kerry Sanders, Force there in Florida. Kerry, thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube.
Oh, no problem. I had fun. I think we all did.
I am announcing today that we are expanding the call of what they are going to be considering this week. And so, yes, they will be considering the congressional map, but they also will be considering termination.
This is also a great one because the people who are really upset about this are the libs, right? Liberals right now are just like, oh, they're coming after our sacred Disney. We must defend them. We must defend this multi-billion-dollar company at all costs, because that's the thing they love to do. They love to defend huge corporations, even though it's like, well, you're just you're doing it for free. Yeah, why not? So as long as the liberals are going to be big mad and the conservatives are actually like, you know what, we're going to try and actually attack this company. Again, as a leftist, I could not be in a better position.
Of all special districts that were enacted in Florida prior to 1968, and that includes the Reedy Creek Improvement District.
All right, that might seem like a mouthful, but that is Governor DeSantis going...
In a perfect world, this would end with mutually assured destruction.
after Disney, the special exemptions and autonomy it has taken advantage of and enjoyed for the better part right now, well, what, almost 60 years right now. Disney.
What is the autonomy? How much autonomy did they have, though? Like, I saw people online being like, well, they basically can control their own sewage systems and networks and, you know, other things like that, which will become very complicated if they don't have complete oversight over them.
Essentially control its own zoning, has its own police and fire departments.
They have their own, they have Disney police? Disney firemen? Jeez, do they have to be? Are they considered like cast members? Do they dress in costumes? Is it a whole bunch of goofies that come out with batons and stuff?
But because of the entertainment powerhouse has opposed legislation in this,
do they have their own military? How far does this go? I'm so curious.
They call the Parental Rights and Education Bill, what some call the Don't Say Gay.
Like, you better get on the ground or you're going to get some pepper spray.
law. It has incited the wrath of the governor of Florida because he claims that this is not nearly what it's presented to be, certainly by Disney, which is now threatened to withhold political campaign contributions in Florida. And this is a law that the governor says really is meant to teach issues.
If this is off topic, Hassan made a hilarious 9/11 joke. I'll check it out later. Remind me. But if you're worried about being canceled over 9/11, just use the what was the South Park rule? They had like they worked out the math. They were like, any horrifying tragic event is funny after what, 20 plus something years. So that I think that rule is now codified as law, right?
On sexual identity and all of that, but not when you're in the kindergarten to the third grade. That
Stavros from Cumtown is on Hassan's show, really? Wow. Yeah, Cumtown, I'll be honest, a lot of people online always like make Twitter like jokes at me where it's like, Lance is so sensitive. If he watched Cumtown for a single episode, he would literally explode because he'll hear the N-word and that is his kryptonite. He can't stand it as like a white savior complex leftist and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, I've listened to Cumtown. I've listened to entire episodes. I've even laughed a time or two. For the most part, yeah, I mean, like, it's not my thing. I'm not like I'm not in high school anymore, so like 24/7 edginess isn't just really what I find super funny. Like I like kind of more, I don't know, better crafted, more complex humor now. I'm not trying to say that I'm above it. Everyone has their like little spit take laugh, but just like joke after joke where it's just like, yeah, R slur, R slur, R slur, N slur, F slur, blah blah blah, because that's such an F slur, N slur, like I'm like, okay, cool. Like this, I feel like I'm back in high school again. This is awesome. You know,
you're way too young to be getting this type of education, and therein lies the back.
Whoa. Holy shit. Badges worn by Walt Disney security officers throughout the years, the fine men and women who secured the magic. Are you kidding me? It actually fire prevention. Oh my god. This one, I mean, it's looking a little too close to fucking SS, you know. Man, like, I'm just so curious. What's the training like? Do you sit down in a room and they're like, okay, so you are the front line. You're basically the only thing that stands between chaos and you know, lovely, friendly neighborhood magic. So at any point, if you see ethnic minorities, remember there's a 4-to-1 chance that they could be carrying a weapon. Get ready to beat them. And then it's like, yeah, that's, oh, you got the laugh down. All right, you're ready. You're ready. Walt Disney World security. Oh, these have changed over the years. See, this is, if you asked me, Lance, what does the Walt Disney World Police badge look like? This is probably what I would have in my head as an idea. It wouldn't be, like, these ones look like the only thing that separates this from an actual badge is the Mickey logo, right? Like, they got a lot more authentic. I still can't get over this one, though. This is as funny as the Space Force. Unfortunately, funnier.
And forth. Let's get the read from the Lieutenant Governor of Florida, Jeanette Nunez, kind enough to join us right now. Governor, this is a battle of gargantuan players, obviously. Disney, a major employer in your state. But what if they decide to play hardball? What do you think, and where do you think this goes?
Well, really, Neil, playing hardball isn't what's at question here. This is about what's doing right for Floridians. And so when the governor included the issue of the districts as part of the discussions that they will be having.
I'll pop back in when you're done with the serious stuff. I'm glad you've given my show some credibility, where it's like, hey, by the way, this is a very serious report. Lance is talking about how Ron DeSantis is going to fuck Mickey Mouse. I think I said that like 30 minutes ago. And now we're talking about the Walt Disney Police Force. So yeah, this is the serious reporting that matters. Modeline, thank you very much for subscribing. Appreciate you. Thank you. Disney World could have gone nuclear. Wait, what? Oh, you mean with nuclear power? What the fuck? Does this never end? What is up with Disneyland? In 1967, the state of Florida passed a law. Oh no, Forbes, what are you doing? I can't read the article. I have to squint down at the bottom. Oh, there we go. That would allow Disney World to build a nuclear power plant. As bizarre as it sounds, it's more of a testament to the political power of the mouse than anything nuclear. This was 1967. The NRC, DOA, and EPA were all dreams yet to come. See, it just shows you how much power a massive corporation of this size has. The Mickey Mouse-shaped solar array near Epcot is made of 48,000 solar panels and operated Duke. I mean, this is good. I can't hate on a massive solar plant too much. This was what the nuclear power plant was going to be like. Is it shaped like a character? It looks more like the police badge. Wild stuff. Rob Smith says Ron DeSantis is putting woke corporations on notice.
Big news yesterday. The Florida State Senate has voted to strip Disney of its self-governing status, which has allowed its amusement park to operate like its own government for about 50 years. It was a sweet deal. The move comes following Disney's opposition to Florida's parental rights law.
Pretty Boy Gordo said, I used to work at Disneyland and security apprehended me for not stopping for the Pledge of Allegiance. Wait, are you serious? I mean, it is someone randomly in my chat, so I mean, I can't verify the story as being true, but that I'm just also going to believe it for no reason other than that sounds ridiculous.
After it passed. Here's reaction.
Yeah,
Florida resident and founder and president of the Douglas Society, Rob Smith, joins us from Florida. Rob, good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning.
You know, Disney had such a sweet deal. They were beloved by the entire world, but now that they have become woke as a corporation, half the country is hacked off at them.
Yeah, you know, it took Disney about 100 years to create this really strong family-friendly brand, and it seems just only a couple of months to really destroy that brand. You know, people are kind of.
This is so bizarre, man. And hey, the right is so good at this. I mean, the left has to learn lessons from the right when it comes to dominating culture wars and getting everyone infuriated about things that aren't real. They're made up. They're magic, you know, just like Disney cartoons. They're completely fictional. And this idea that, like, by the way, these words don't mean what they actually mean, and these things that are happening aren't actually happening. They actually can convince millions of people of this. And so now people are like, when I hear the word woke, that means it's to make me feel guilty and ashamed for being a white cis hetero male, and I don't want to feel these things. And corporations are doing this because they're communist, apparently, and they also want to teach CRT, which teaches us that babies who are white are racist. And all of these things are terrible and scary, and I don't want them to be real or to happen to me, because again, postmodern neo-Marxism is happening and indoctrinating our children. And like, if you were not in the right wingosphere and you weren't into this collective group think that all of this happens to be real, you'd sit back and be like, what the fuck just came out of your mouth? Do you know what any of these words mean? It's like, yes, of course I do. Grooming is a thing I don't like. And I was like, no, grooming is when you coerce children into having sexual relationships. It's not just the thing you don't like. You can't just say, okay, groomer to someone. That means you're accusing them of being a pedophile and trying to coerce children into having sex with them. That's you understand how fucked up that is, right? Well, what is going on here? And this whole, like, go woke, go broke. Yeah, don't go woke, you'll go broke, bro. Like, honestly, this vernacular that used to be within black communities in the United States was related directly to, I'm sorry, the bare minimum of human decency. People actually not being complete and utter pieces of shit to each other, such as people being incredibly racist or being incredibly sexist or whatever it is. And now it's been taken and reappropriated to mean, again, thing I don't like, or company doing thing I don't like. Oh, they're going woke. Well, they will inevitably go broke. And by the way, this didn't just happen. Disney has been accused of this whole go woke, go broke thing for a very long time, okay? Do you all remember the Star War, when Disney bought the Star War, and then all of a sudden they were like, hey, by the way, we're going to make new ones, and everyone was like, oh, fuck yes, more Star Wars. It's about time. And then the Star Wars came out, and it turned out the hero of the story was a woman. A woman? Yes, a woman. And then on top of that, there was a black dude, and he was also a feature character. He was a prominent character. Like, he wasn't a side character. He was a lead. It had a black lead and a woman lead. Oh my god, they've gone woke. And soon, inevitably, they will go broke. And then, enormous fucking record-breaking worldwide premiere, so much cash, Disney's printing money, return on investment came back so fast.
Standing up against this. And I think what's going on right now is that Governor DeSantis is really putting Disney, and by extension a lot of these other woke corporations, on notice that they really should not be involved in these sort of culture war issues that the left always
Y'all were totally, this is like, again, right-wingers are so good at this. You were fine taking money from Disney when they were funding the very bills that, like, you ended up passing. That was fine. It was like Disney's donating to all these right-wing politicians who are now going to pass the Don't Say Gay bill. And now Disney, in response to the backlash, is like, we're going to have a little bit more representation. Not like a wild amount, but some. There will be another gay character in the near future. Stay tuned. And everyone's like, oh my god, they have the culture war. They have gone woke. They are trying to become become political. Like, oh my God, there are Disney cartoons that were commissioned during World War II that have Donald Duck fucking being a Nazi. There's a Nazi Donald Duck cartoon. Yeah, you can watch it on YouTube. I won't put it on because it's probably TOS, but he says a whole bunch of Nazi shit. He says, I can't even say that out loud, but he says that in the cartoon. The exact thing, the HH. Like, Disney has been political before. This is not the first time.
Wants to drag them into. Now, at first,
that's about how Nazi Germany was bad. Yes, it was. It was a film that was commissioned by the U.S. government to do propaganda in the West about how Nazis were bad and how the Japanese were bad too. There's another cartoon like that that's super racist towards Japanese people. But at the same time, like, this is a part of our history, right? Like, you can't just ignore it. It's not like this is the very first time Disney has suddenly become political in any way, shape, or form. And again, this ability for the right to do this, they get on point with their messaging, okay? Like, all of a sudden, every single right-winger, as of like a week ago, was telling the same story, that libs of TikTok just post cringe videos of liberals and people who are trans and gay embarrassing themselves. That's all the website did, and that's all they ever were doing. And every single right-winger parroted that and regurgitated it. They all got on point with that narrative. There was like very few exceptions. Every big pundit you can think of, every single like TV and Fox News host, like all of them right away, just collectively, they were just like, all right, we're now going to propagate this lie. It is a 100% lie. It's a fiction. It's made up. Like, the Libs of TikTok account was lying about teachers, calling them pedophiles and getting them fired from their jobs. The very thing that they're trying to claim that they're totally against. Like, this is, oh, no, that's the bad thing. But they all just got online with it, and they all just say it at the same time. And when all those voices and accounts and tweets and Facebooks and all this stuff happen at the same time, suddenly they create the narrative. And then everyone else, even people on the left, were starting to believe that. They were like, yeah, I mean, like, I think it's like kind of mean-spirited, but at the end of the day, if it's just, posting videos of people being cringe, I don't see the problem. I don't see why it's newsworthy. And you're like, no, you bought into a lie. They won. Wow, they're so good at this. They're so goddamn good at this.
I thought that this was kind of like an offensive move by Governor Ron DeSantis against Disney, because Disney came out with that statement. But then I looked at the statement that Disney made. They said it is their goal to repeal the parental rights and education law in the legislature and get it struck down in the courts. So I would argue that Disney really struck the first blow here. And I would tell that all these conservatives that are sort of like hemming and hawing about how Governor Ron DeSantis is being so mean to Disney, I would say that they should take a look at that statement that Disney put out about this law.
Absolutely, Rob. And we had a roundtable with some people who...
The right sloganized it super well with the simple rant. The left wants you to sit through an hour-long bread tube. Hour if you're lucky. God damn, that's the old bread tube. Now the new, like, yeast tube 3.0. It's like, hey, I got a 4.5 hour video you could check out. You could share the link with your friends, get them on board with this really important topic. What's it about? Oh yeah, it's about how the police were actually created to uphold the power of the state and also racism and slavery and stuff. And like, okay, interesting. Yeah, just 4.5 hours, casual. The amount of time most people have to sit down and ingest something that is a highly complicated topic they probably aren't going to be very receptive to learning about. So good luck. It's like, that's the uphill battle. If you on one hand are talking about how this company has been political for a very long time, and most things, even if you think they're not political, can be political, such as promoting things that are just typical in society, such as heteronormativity. That is something that we are indoctrinated with from a very young age. We don't even think about it, but it's so normal to see princes kissing princesses and even anthropomorphized characters making out with each other who happen to be representational of a heterosexual relationship and all this kind of stuff, versus go woke, go broke, bro. See how quick that is? See how fast that is? And then someone else will be like, oh yeah, it rhymes. I heard it too. Go woke, go broke. All right, I'll remember that. All right, yeah, okay. Yeah, you can go woke, go broke. Yeah, cool, neat.
Live down in Florida. One mother said they'd canceled their Disney season pass after Disney went woke. Somebody else said they canceled Disney Plus. If you're a stockholder in Disney, which
Isha K being cringe, well, that's just like par for the course. Seriously, Westoids, how the fuck is Orban winning in Hungary threatening you? Do you even know where the fuck Hungary is? I doubt it. Orban based by and loved by his people. That's good enough for me. Chenwell retweeted this, so who am I to disagree with you? Yeah, I'll just accept that as based in fact.
Millions of Americans are through their 401ks. Yeah. You got to be thinking, why did this company that used to make money hand over fist decide to go woke?
Yeah, and you know what? I would say that it's not even about deciding to go woke. It is about the fact that they could not resist the unyielding pressure of the woke left. Remember, just a couple of months ago when the woke left decided that Georgia's voting law was racist and they pressured the All-Star game to move from Georgia to Colorado, right? And so that was another thing that just kind of like blew up. And so right now, I think what companies and corporations need to realize is that it does not help them.
Companies and corporations don't care about online cancel culture or mobs or anything about that. They care about shareholder value. It's 100% how they make their decisions. If you want to understand why they do what they do, just look to that. And then you'll be like, oh, wow, this one makes perfect sense. And I guess if there is a broad consensus of people, especially consumers, who are like, yeah, I don't actually just hate gay people because they exist. That's just not a thing anymore. Then they're probably going to tune their content directed towards that and that market. That's how it works. There's not suddenly this push amongst the Disney to be like, apparently online people are being very mean if you're a bigot, so I don't want them to be mean to us anymore, okay? They're retweeting our accounts and it's not fun, and I'm sad and scared and confused, mostly aroused. Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form, available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Just, we are prepared to embark on a mighty jihad in your name. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your humble jester, attempting in vain to get you to laugh. To our valiant knights of the Round Table, Benji Arnie, Tech Tink, Scary Earth Human, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Mayred, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood. It doesn't matter what I believe, it only matters what I can prove. Egbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Daniel Sutton, Coulter Smith, Jenna Tao, Quiet 185, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, The Tim Caucus, Multimondi, Trevbot, EXE, Brian Ephraim, Lemmy 101, Anthropophojak, Saren 42, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Incosin, Agent NDN, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Zach Christensen, Todd Buckingham, and Todd Lajeunesse. We raise our mugs and salute our brave heroes off to another glorious conquest.